The fact that Martin Luther King mentions us in his letter from Birmingham jail is truly a point of pride for us. The fact that we were almost a decade ahead of everyone else, and we took those chances at a time when folks were still pretty divided on the issue.
Well, Father Richard Salmi, president of Spring Hill College, spent very little time in the South before he was appointed to the position in 2009.
Father Salmi is a die-hard Cleveland Browns fan and an avid bicycle rider. He says he's adopted to some of the South's cultural differences, including the cuisine.
Who wouldn't like it? He recently sat down with our Eric Reynolds to talk about the historic contributions of the 182-year-old college, the challenges that it faces today, and the influence of his grade school nuns. Here's the interview.
Safety conscious, you know? I felt like a bit of a stranger in a strange land. I never saw grit until I moved here, but then I discovered shrimp and grits, which I have to say has converted me. One of the things I love about the South is just how warm and friendly people are. They're just genuinely very polite. That's been the biggest thrill, I think, of coming down here, is just getting to meet a lot of really wonderful people. It's been great. The city's been so welcoming.
Father Richard Salmi came to the Deep South from Loyola University in Chicago. He has served as Spring Hill College's president for 3 years. The Jesuit educator believes the foundation for his success today was laid years ago by his grade school nuns and his family experience in Cleveland, Ohio.
Being in a big family without a lot of resources, you learned how to make what resources you had work. You learned to negotiate. We had 7 kids and my parents in a house with 1 bathroom. You also learned to be efficient. We developed a good sense of humor. We learned how to tease each other in a loving way. My grade school nuns, I think back that they were the ones who taught me the fundamentals. They are the ones who managed to give us each personal attention. I think their dedication really helped lay the foundation and my love for learning.
His freshman year at Ohio University was where his interest in the Jesuits began.
My freshman year in college was the year of the Kent State killings and the Vietnam War protests. So it was a rather turbulent time for America. One of my professors was a Jesuit priest. I looked at the Jesuits and saw all the good works they were doing all over the place. I was going to, again, idealistic youth, I was going to save the world, and certainly the Jesuits were going to help me do it. I made a week-long retreat with the Jesuits to discern whether or not I should go to the priesthood or join the Peace Corps. After the retreat, I applied to the Jesuits. Social justice has always been at the core of what we were about. And we've always been on the cutting edge and the cusp of justice issues.
Alabama's oldest college was founded in 1830. Spring Hill has been a leader in social change, educating orphans, admitting women, and African Americans.
Part of the deal was in getting this land that we would make an education available to folks who wouldn't have a means otherwise to go to school. The fact that Martin Luther King mentions us in his letter from Birmingham jail is truly a point of pride for us. The fact that we were almost a decade ahead of everyone else, and we took those chances at a time when folks were still pretty divided on the issue. From our very beginning, our heritage and our history, and we continue that today. As we look to the future, what are we doing to enable Hispanics, Latinos to come to Spring Hill? And how are we going to speak out for the undocumented folks? And how do we stand for the DREAM Act and being able to say that that is the next civil rights issue that our country needs to face?
Spring Hill's future will continue to be determined by how it faces old challenges.
Spring Hill College has always struggled financially since 1830 when we were open. We're like all private liberal arts colleges, these times have been challenging. I think taking over the college at the height of the recession was a real challenge, and a bigger challenge than I anticipated. It's important that we keep Spring Hill and a Jesuit education available to anyone who really wants it. Last year, we handed out about $17 million in financial aid to students. We do that largely from balancing and managing our budget, but also from the generosity of folks who share our mission and vision. We are also seeing a lot more positive signs with our endowment and the growth that we're seeing there. In terms of our admissions, there's a lot more energy and excitement that we see in high school students about wanting to come to Spring Hill College. And so when you're tuition dependent, you have to have the students. I'm confident that we are already starting to see the turnaround. We're very confident that our future is solid.
In Mobile, Eric Reynolds, Fox 10 News.
Father Salmi says he wants to see Spring Hill's 1,300 student body grow over the next 5 to 6 years to 2,000 students.
And he also is concerned, though, about student loan debt. Father Salmi wants Spring Hill graduates to be able to pay off their education in a reasonable amount of time instead of leaving with astronomical debt.
And above all, Father Salmi wants Spring Hill College to be a place that people of all faiths feel welcome and safe.